if we're ever in a situation where we're not rolling out a certain sort of cultural circus, then we're not doing our job properly.
Welcome to Day 2 at Mixed Ultimate Championships 2018. We've got a very exciting game coming your way right now. We've got Krank versus Pompey Magnus, which is a top-of-the-table clash. The winner of this game will get automatic entry to the semi-finals, providing that they win their game later in the day. And the team that will finish second in the pool gets a shot at a crossover to make it into the semis, which would happen later today. I'm Claire Hussey. I'm joined with Andrew Moroney here in the commentary booth. Luckily, we're protected from the elements because Ballarat's putting on its crisp best this morning.
Yeah, that's what you can expect in Ballarat. It's about 10 degrees colder than Melbourne, and the rain will come and the wind will come as well. But so far, it's staying away. The sun's trying to poke through, which is nice. And you're right, Huss, it's an exciting game. Neither of these teams have been defeated. As you said, the winner probably gets a game off. Whoever finishes second will go to pre-semis, but you'll be backing them in based off the strength of these team lists. In terms of conditions, as we mentioned, there's not much wind to speak of. A lot of grey clouds around, but hopefully they'll stay away and we'll get to see some quality ultimate. We've got Krank to the right. They're ready to pull. To the left, my right. Actually, my left. And they're going to pull it up, and Pompey receive it.
We've got a Vidler picking up the disc, and he's got Wentworth as his dump. They've gone with a somewhat horizontal stack. A little bit of a mess, really, to one side. Maybe side stack. Gets the disc into play. Reeve, one of the younger players on this squad. Wentworth. Francis goes with a lefty high floaty one, thankfully picked up by his Moore teammate. Using his height, back to Francis, goes with his right this time. Pumped it, Denyer to the end zone, Carmen underneath, reads overhead and gets the goal. First goal on the board, 1-0.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but it worked. A couple of snips there for Krank's defence. Put was nice, probably 3 metres inside the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Pompey have already played a game this morning, so you'd think that they might have looked a little bit smoother than that, but, you know, sometimes it can take a couple of hours to work those old bones out.
Speaking of old bones, we've got Mike Neal on the sideline walking up and down with his bub, so obviously they're going to sit Mike for a couple of points. Unfortunately, he wasn't in earshot when I said that. So, Mike, you're old. Just sure everyone knows. Huh?
Giving you confused eyes there.
He's getting on. It's a bit senile. All right, Krank, going to have a look at their first offense. A little bit of wind starting to pick up now.
The sun has started peeking out, but I'm sure it'll disappear behind that wall of cloud above us.
Ball goes up. It's going to land out by some way. So we'll see if Tim Booth will take the brick or it from the sideline. I think he's gone for the brick. He has gone for the brick. And Krank setting up a bit more of a conventional or recognisable offence at least than their friends Pompey. The Horo. 2 back. Tim Booth with the disc. Looks inside. Hits Mark Fulford. Fulford back to Tupper. And nicely plucked in. That's Jono Warren White. Back to Fulford. Fulford to Warren White. Warren White a ring in from SA. Hits Boothie. Tim Booth goes. Sticks one. Really nice put from Tim Booth to Aidan McCabe. That was laces out. Good clean offense. No turns yet in the game. 1-1.
The woolen has been gonged.
Out into space. 2 going deep, but both had separation, so it didn't really matter. They were lining up. Nice pick up from Boothie. Sees it, sends it. So no turns yet. This is good. Good quality ultimate that we got. That's why these 2 are at the top of the table, 1 and 2 of their pool.
That's right. Pompey describe themselves as an exotic mix of crocs, firetails, dingoes, barramundis, blue bottles, stingrays, and a sole loose moose. That would be quite the chunky cocktail to try and see off.
What's a loose moose?
Presume he's not affiliated with a representative team. Poor Dave Andrews.
Yeah. I thought maybe Daniel was the loose moose. Krank throwing a junk now.
Daniel trying to find a way around. Pivoting wide. Wentworth collects the swing. Back to Daniel. You can see he's got Perkins deep and he chooses it with his well-placed hammer. Perkins just walking it into the end zone and bring it back.
Oh, first turn.
Just doesn't put enough air onto that attempt at the goal.
Krank now with a chance to break. Ferguson hits Rosie Dawson. Dawson moves out. Krank a little crammed up, but they move it back to Ferguson, and they've collapsed now into a vert. Tim Daly. And then Rosie getting busy under. Little congested. Rosie holds on. Goes to James Fletcher. Fletcher to Ferguson. Ferguson, every second pass at the moment. Ferguson and Rosie. Lovely under. Aaron Healy. Healy back to Rosie. Rosie to Anthony Pennany-Vran, PV. Ferguson. Healy cuts, can't get free. Ferguson looks for the break backhand, can't get it. Goes with the flick instead, but sick bid. Really nice work. Read the under really well. That was Sarah Perkins.
Massive block from Perkins. She takes a rest in the stack as the handlers work their way up their side. Will Wong finds Francis, keeps it moving fast. Denya now pings one to the corner, but out of the reach of Francis, who makes a valiant bid on that. Launches, reaches with his left, but can't quite get it.
Early days, but both teams have used that space into that kind of far back end of the end zone. They've sat a couple out. You saw Boothie do it earlier. The wind's just going to sit it up, but as you said, Huss, on that one, a little bit too much heat. Despite the bid, couldn't reel it in. So Krank again are going to get a chance to break. This time they're looking at a Horo. The under, not on it. Denya's poaching in the lane, so we hit PV. PV back to Ferguson. Ferguson back to PV. Denya kind of poaching, kind of playing D. PV hits the under. Tim Daly on the under. Oh, a little bit of miscommunication, and there's been a turn.
He collects it up. Ewan carefully lays off to Moore, who finds Denya. Oh, and a plain cold drop.
PV's going. Ferguson goes to hit him. Denya's close, but that opens up the space under. PV looking to work Denya over now. Ferguson with it. PV gets the under. Look for the flick. The dumps are a little congested now. He's going to get him up the line, but there's a pretty obvious foul there. Don't think much disagreement from Dens. Now the dump up the line. Be interested to see where his man comes back to. Yeah, he knew he had him. Fair enough. Dens bring it back in on 0. PV does not have a dump. Ferguson comes back now. PV does the Babe Ruth point, hits the under. Tim Daly. Back to Ferguson. Ferguson has an inside break if he wants it. Has Rosie on the inside. Rosie now coming around to the dump. Rosie just looked away and PV is running out of bounds. That's a stall 9 huck, that is, and it's going to sit over the back. Almost taken. I think it was Stephanie Banks. Actually, no, it was Erin Healy at the back. But
Yeah.
a nice D.
Denied by Ewan. Made sure of that tonk. Get it out of the way. Number 15 for Pompey Magnus, Will Wong. It's his first Mixed Nationals Division 1. He'll be looking to make a mark in this game. Try and secure the top of the table place. Gavmore bringing the disc back into play. He's got Denyer as his dump and a vertical stack. Francis makes a move, gets the first under. Finds a nice swing, dedicated to making the good option. And Wentworth goes with the backhand and it's overshot to Denyer.
Krank, chance to break. Now the big windy flick, and it's taken. Nice work by Healy. Sat under it. A little bit of hospital pass about it, but it works. Krank break. It's the first break for Krank. They went the long way around, but they got it. A couple of drops sneaking in. Francis, despite putting one down, had a pretty good point. He was getting busy. He was getting the unders. And on Krank's side, Jaden Ferguson and Rosie getting it done, making sure that offense flowed. Really nice work from Healy. Got, as I said, sat under one, but held her ground. See the flick go up. 2 players coming into her. That's harder than it looks, I reckon. Like that's to sit under that. Know you've got 2 players coming.
Yeah, she looked
It was nice.
cool as a cucumber taking that one. You'll notice that there are a few more layers on people's bodies today.
Starting to rug up, aren't they?
Yeah. Some puffers underneath the uniforms, some longs underneath on the legs. Got to do what you can to stay warm in Ballarat.
We're not even in Ballarat, we're in Sebastopol. That's the Ballarat of Ballarat. Ballarat, look at that, and you go, oof, that's rough.
Yeah, Sebastopol where?
It's the ice capital of Australia, I reckon, Sebastopol.
Thomas collecting the pull. Reeve.
Nice, Mike.
Nice up to the wing with Mike Knild, who finds it through the middle to Alexander. Alexander doesn't like what she sees upfield, comes back to Thomas. Thomas gets out of the way and Reeve is there. Reads it well. Keeps that disc moving fast. Finds Wee. Definitely not letting any cobwebs form here, Pompey Magnus.
It's good movement, isn't it?
Thomas goes with the hammer. Beautifully found that open spot for Knild on the break side.
They took it up a notch there, didn't they? You can see that they didn't like getting broken. That was that was probably the crispest offense point.
Yeah, it was fast and slick.
Boothie with a couple of sniffs. If you watch Tim Booth, I don't know if it was a less experienced player who's playing on. I don't know who that player is, but he had a couple of sniffs there. So for those who want to kind of learn how to play really effective poach offense, Boothie's one of the better ones at it, but didn't come through for him on that occasion.
So 2 apiece. Game just settling in.
Alright, so Krank with the challenge now to hold. Try and keep a little bit of control on the game. and white picking up with them. Do Adelaide have a team here? They do, don't they? Vanguard's here.
Vanguard's here. Yep.
Right. Jono just mixing things up.
Yeah, keeping his name out there.
Pull goes up. It's going to make the end zone.
Sitting nicely.
Pretty nice. Tupper. Hits Holly. Holly back to Jono Warren White. And now Cup will go deep. Fulford's going, but not on it. That opens up the space underneath. Really nice contested grab taken under. And then Fulford comes under back. The offense cycling. Jono dances, gets through, gets enough of it, moves it back to the middle. The swing goes, continues on. That's Georgia Ewan. It's not. Stephanie Bengson, sorry. Fulford. Oh, nice bid. Great D, read it well. Oscar Francis.
Yep, ready to pounce, and now he's got the disc in his hands. Finds Carmen on the round. Reeve sticks it nicely. Calm as you like to the end zone.
That's nice. It's Andrews, isn't it?
It is David Andrews.
Little Andrews.
Little Andrews. I thought that looked like Andrews, but I knew that it was on another team. But it's his brother.
Oscar Francis. Get around him. That was pretty good. He read it well. Read that play well. He did well to avoid the contact as well. Really nice. But was that Beck Carmen putting that?
It was Reeve. Holly Reeve.
Holly. That was nice. Really good shot. Nice and flat.
Pompey Magnus don't really look that troubled defensively at the moment, I must say. Taking their time on everything. They've got their unders, and then they're finding deeps too. Feel like Wollongong might need to step it up to cause a bit more upset on the Pompey Magnus offense.
One break apiece. Puts us on serve. 2-3. To Krank to receive. Cal Spielman pulls. It's going to land in, but it's going to be reasonably short. Tim Booth's going to pick up. Throws a worm burner to Tupper. Tupper over to Jono. Run a side stack here. Fulford almost falls over. Tupper doesn't like it. They end up finding the under. That's Aiden McCabe. Aiden to Fulford. Fulford looks back to McCabe. Nice mark from Henry. McCabe goes. Fulford's stuck it. He's gone deep. He's going to have to run onto it. He's going to have to bid, but he can't. McCabe putting a little bit too much on it. Fulford was free. He had enough separation. I reckon it wasn't a bad option, but the disc just went too far.
Yeah, and he's not a slow person like Fulford. He's got many years of speed in his legs as well. Reeve now walking it up from the end zone. She's got no dump. She's just got a vertical stack and goes deep for Thomas, but it's peeled off the back for a D.
Boothie looks to stick it one straight back. That's nice. They get to hold. Natalie Bell taking Boothie's flick huck. Pompey with the set play, you could see, was it Henry? I think it was Henry Thomas went out of the dump position up the line, but the throw just went too far. It gave the guys in the stack a look at it, and McCabe was able to peel off from the back. And then Fulford, Boothie looked to hit him in transition. Boothie takes a nice little stroll, puts enough air on it, over the defender. That's a really nice throw. I think it was Natalie Bell running on, easy as you like. So that keeps us at threes.
I think Wollongong, the Krank will be pretty happy with that D.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of happy, I've got 5 steamed dimmies waiting for me. So the next timeout, maybe we can get Wollongong to call a timeout or something. I can get down and get them.
That'll be nice.
Oh, I'm hanging out for it. Soy sauce, bit of chilli. Yes, maybe a pie.
Have you not had anything to eat this morning?
I was in a little bit of a rush. I won't lie. The Google Maps had me getting in at 10:42 originally, so I managed to scrape a little bit of time back.
Hopefully, cops didn't see you.
No. Ooh, it's going to come back, is it? Not the most convincing pull in the world.
Wentworth collects that short pull. Kneeled. He's got a lot of people spread out around him. Finds the safe dump in more.
Jeez, they look good, don't they?
Yep, they've moved that disc across the field in no time at all. Kneeled 2 metres out, 3 metres out from the end zone. Doesn't like the up the line to Denya. Finds more. Keeps surveying. It's not finding an option. Denya comes round for the dump. Static upfield, finds an up the line from Wentworth.
Great.
There's a
Something's happened
call of some sort.
downfield. Just a little bit of incidental contact. Struggling with this last pass. Couple of high counts in the red zone.
Yeah, but they don't look like they're going to force it in. I think that they're going to stay patient on this one. It'll be up to a Krank layout bid or something to get this turn. Wentworth goes high with a high release over the top to Neild. She knows he'll pick that up. And he does. 4-3 to Pompey Magnus. I like that there. They were confident all the way through. They didn't look like they were ever going to make a dodgy throw until maybe that last one was a little bit contested.
Ferguson I thought he had a bite at it, but maybe it's just the angle. He's Neild and Wentworth. They are scary good. They are very, very good. Still got it, Mike. Still got it. Yeah, you did. Yeah, and you caught the last goal as well. Yeah, at least. Yeah.
I feel like I see you enough.
Yeah. No, the Mike Neild Cheer Club. That's me. Special shout out to Tim Booth.
Maggot in the box.
It's a strange thing, the ultimate community, isn't it? It's different.
It is. It's a nice bunch though.
Mike Neild carrying his team. Yeah, I know you can hear me. All right. Finish dishing it to all and sundry. Let's play some frisbee. So, Krank. Warren White will get it in the axis position. Hits Tupper. Now, Pompey are throwing a little bit of a junk. Looks like a fence. 1-3-2-1. They look to slice. Decide not to. Fulford. No poppers really coming in. Hits Warren White, who should have swung it, didn't swing it. Goes inside. Now they're cramped up in the inside, but he gets it back. Looks at the big hammer. There's a little bit of air under it. And that's, oh wow, excellent grab. Zach Steph Bengtson, really nice. Again, sat under it, backed herself in. Fulford hits Tupper. Tupper, throw and go. And then it's moved over to Warren White. Warren White. Alex Haar goes through, not on it. Instead opens up the space for Fulford. Fulford gets a little bit of throw and go. And it moves outside to Tupper. Really nice movement. Moved it to halfway. Warren White in the axis. Swings it to Alex Haar. Alex, Natalie Bell. Bell, lovely crossfield flick. The fence point, that break point, a little bit out of position there. Allowed it to go off. McCabe. Just need to be patient. Don't freak out. They're moving it really nicely. Alex Haar for Fulford. Fulford looks either way, but a nice mark by the little Andrews. I say little, he's still a monster. Looks to Warren White, throws a low one. Done really well at marshalling that point, but the Krank offense couldn't keep it patient enough, and now Pompey are going to have a chance to break.
It's up, and Ewan's underneath, but dominated by Fulford, who comes in just behind and sweeps that one out of the air.
Nice work from Fulford, did well to avoid the contact.
Yeah, Krank just lost concentration on their offense before. Didn't think about executing the throw properly.
They were using their width really well, and then, as you can imagine, Pompey are going to make them do it again. A a lot going on by way of popping, but they hit it. Tupper. Fulford comes in pops now. Fulford on it as Tupper, and they start, Pompey starting to funnel it down where they want now. Tupper breaks, excellent break. Looks at Warren White. He goes to Fulford. Fulford hits down the wing to McCabe. Really nice throw. McCabe does the right thing, centres it. Hits Natalie Bell. Natalie Bell moves it back to Tupper. Pompey recover, but Tupper still now a little bit of movement inside. Fulford, they keep it down this sideline. Fulford again goes to hit the wing. This time it's McCabe. McCabe, as you can imagine, does the exact same thing. Gets it back. That's an excellent point. Well done. Fulford, McCabe, Bengtson, Natalie Bell, really disciplined work. What was really good from McCabe, twice on that occasion, he was hit down on the wing, and the first place he looked was inside. A lot of players, you get in that habit where you go, right, okay, I need to make the next advance pass and try and move it more. McCabe, both occasions, looked straight inside and kept the flow going, and it made it really hard for Pompey's D because they'd done so much work to try and funnel them towards the sideline. It just all becomes undone as soon as they get back to the middle, and that flow kept going. So well done. They thought it through and recovered to hold. That was a hold, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, solid work.
It's good. You can understand why these guys are top of the table.
Definitely, there's a lot of quality movement going on. It's going to be neck and neck the whole way, I think. Pompey's turn to show some sparkling offense.
Krank doing well to actually, I think they're punching above their weight a bit. Pompey, Magnus, it's easy to, all the teams have to list who's played for Australia before. I reckon it's probably quicker for Pompey if they just list who hasn't. I think there'll probably be two of them. Krank doing well.
Yeah, the old loose moose. Daniel with a hammer over the top, finds Alexander.
That's unreal.
Casually collects. Moore calms things down again. Perkins lays one off, goes for the 1-2. Gets it up the line for a goal. Beautiful play.
Sarah
So
Perkins,
easy.
that's unreal. That is unreal. Really deliberate cutting. Knew exactly what she wanted to do, where she wanted it.
Yeah, she was
Really
off before she'd even let go of that disc, almost.
Well, yeah, she
Wasn't a
was.
travel.
This one was. What's this? Yeah, little pro hop. But after that, you see the deliberate. It's just a deliberate cut. Knew she had inside the player. It's really hard to defend against. If you give your the inside track away on that up the line dump, short of a really nice bid, you're probably getting burned. Yeah, little pro step. Yeah. But as you can see, got the inside track. That way, the offender can use their body to put their body between the defender and the disc. Short of cutting them in half, it's very hard to try and get through that. So we've got a game. Can't split them. 4-5. Krank on offense. Do you reckon Pompey will throw their junk again?
I don't think so. I think that they're going to come down in match defence. See how Neild's pull goes into this gentle breeze.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not his best. Not his worst. And yeah, I think you're right. A couple of poachers. Neil has a big sniff. Warren White, you are getting poached. McCabe, they move it anyway. That's well, nicely done. Go to Booth. Booth hits the swing to Warren White. That forces Neil to come to him, and now the cuts start to open up. Booth, nice big swing, and then Booth sticks a flick to Tupper. Ooh, tried to milk it a bit, but decided not to, and now there's a call. Don't know what the call is. We'll see if we can get something from Ruben. And coach of pretty much everything, Dan Rule, who's now wearing another hat in advising, game advisors. Is that right?
We're all good?
Okay, I think we're all good. I think it was just questioning whether it was up or whether it was bowled a little bit by Tupper. So, Tupper, I think, might burn one. I don't know what she's doing. Yeah, I think we're burning one.
I think she's not sure of the hand signal. She's
Yeah,
covering all
she's
bases.
doing the electric boogaloo.
Doing the tea dance.
Excellent. All right. So big point in the game. You get the feeling that they're right on the end zone line. They'll put 6 more defenders in the box. I don't know if that'll make it easier, but anyway. Set play, what do you reckon they're going to call?
I reckon they're going to go with an up the line into the goal. Why not?
I think it'll be Boothie doing it too.
Yeah, and that throw did die suddenly.
Didn't it?
Yeah. She was maybe trying to milk it, but I think it also just gave up on her. Will the team in white put a zone on?
Yeah, bold call. It does protect the inside cone if you can put 3 bodies in there.
Wind's picking up a bit, so it'll be on the backs of Krank. I want to make sure they release the disc high. Give enough time to sail down.
I think we might see it here. So we've got Tupper with the disc. They're sitting Boothie wide, Warren White behind, and then Bengtson heading up the stack. Almost looks like an ISO for Bengtson here, because you can see the 3 in the back, a little bit further back. It's actually pretty disciplined. And they're going to double up on Bengtson. They can read it. So almost a little zoney. Gav Moore being a pest on the mark. Count getting high, moves it inside. McCabe. Well done from Tupper there.
Yeah, she was looking a bit desperate for a moment, scrambling around for an option, and thankfully for her, the option was in the end zone.
Yeah.
And she eventually
we
found
got
it.
to 6 count, you reckon?
Could have been higher.
Looked for the dunk. Probably should have hit it. Yeah, I reckon it was even higher.
Yeah.
Knowing how Gav counts, it was probably 14.
He's an accountant, isn't he? Or an actuary.
Is he?
One of those.
Don't know.
Something a little bit dull.
Haven't had too many social chats with Gav Moore. I don't know if that shocks anyone. Not sure what he does. Let's see if we can find out. If the Alta community wants to ping me, what does Gav Moore do? Questions that keep me up at night. What does Gav Moore do for coin?
Well, this has been very quality so far. It could almost be, these could be AUL teams, really.
Yep. To take one more off the field, don't they? Is that Sixers you play? Yeah. Yeah, they're really strong. They're really strong. You know, you could be you'd be watching this as a final. These guys both going to go pretty deep.
Yeah, they both could still make the final.
On paper, you'd give Pompey the edge, but Krank hanging in.
Thomas collects the pull, finds Wentworth against this zone. Cuppy 1-3-2-1. Reeve working her magic. She's got some of the best throws out there. Find their way to Wee, who sticks
Excellent
it round,
throw.
curves it over the top. Kneeled, calm as you like, finds Francis right on the edge here. Red zone time.
Nice work.
Doesn't bother him, he goes with his lefty backhand for the goal for Mark Wee.
Krank ran a transition there, but it was one of those unfortunate things where the throw that broke them, or broke through the cup, was when that was the same throw that they were going to transition on. It was like 6 or 7. And by that point, they just had too many free players streaming. Mark Wee, pretty good point. That was a lovely throw that he hit Kneeled with, and then got busy catching the goal as well. 4 females, the sign from Ruben. Krank getting back to the line, taking their time doing it too. 5-6. You just get the feeling. You get the feeling this is a time to strike. Teams as good as Pompey Magnus pick their time, and if they can break here, that puts them on the verge of half. Very special shout out to Anna Haynes, dead set legend. Seen at every Ultimate tournament. So now in the Rapture, absolute weapon.
Tournament manager extraordinaire.
Is that a gig? Is that
Oh, she's-
a gig or?
Yeah, she manages all the major tournaments for Australian Ultimate.
Does a very good job as we watch Jono Warren White hit Rosie. Rosie looking at the under. 2 go under though, so she can't do it. Has to bounce it back to Warren White. Warren White doesn't see anything he likes. It's Alex. Back to Fulford wide, step out, flick. Tupper gives a little dishy back to Fulford, and yeah, it's probably fair enough. A little bit of a travel there. Tupper looks for the inside flick, can't get it. Warren White doesn't make a convincing dump, gets into the stack, allows Fulford to come back. Fulford being marked by Denya, hits Rosie. Rosie doing really well, just crushing it on the reg. Goes to Fulford. Fulford, nice dump cut up the line. Centres the disc. McCabe waits for the stack to clean up a bit. It's a little messy. Warren White goes up the line. That's marked well. Really nice bid by Gav. Can't get it. Fulford catches the goal. Really nice inside break there. Gav had a taste.
Yeah,
Gav, the actuary. We're thinking it's an actuary. No one's really pinged me yet, so either no one knows or no one cares. Good bid, though.
Yeah, tickled the edge of that one.
So Warren White goes up the line. Dens covers him well. The inside break. That's an awesome throw. Good bid by Gav.
Long way up, long way down for Gav Moore.
Krank hold. Brave throws, taking it on. Gav had a little nap down there, feeling sorry for himself. His opponent actually picked him up, which is nice.
Both teams will be wanting to join the ranks of the Australian Mixed Ultimate Champions, such as Funsky, Frisky, and Cron from the last few years. A lot of these Pompey Magnus players will probably remember the infamous Nationals in Ballarat. I think it was in 2006, which was an absolute freezing wet fest.
Good pull.
Gav collects.
Bid.
Henry Thomas finds Holly Reeve. Working it up the middle, not troubled on defence right now. Gav Moore has it. Is he going to look deep? He is with a hammer to Neild. Another goal on the board for Neild.
Just tearing the game a freshie, Huss. This man, he is very good. And look at the strut. He knows it too. Just real, get a load of me. I'm popping you on my back. Keeping the separation 6-7. Neild has 3 of them on his own. If not, maybe 1 or 2 more. And he goes over to Boothie. He goes, hey, Boothie, how good am I? Just on the sideline. 2 old dogs. Yeah, nice, Mike.
This is Daily Medicine getting those goals. Be interesting to see how he'd look if he wasn't getting on the scoreboard. Might not.
He's pretty chipper,
might not be recognisable.
Yeah, he's pretty chipper.
So if Pompey Magnus come down, get this block and get the goal, they'll take half.
If you want to learn how to play frisbee or how to get a real healthy strut going, Mike Neild's your man. Real swag train. Pretty critical point of the game now, Huss. 6-7. Pompey break for half. Did they come out on O? They did, didn't they? So they'll still be on D. Did they start on O? Pompey started on O, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah. Still, wouldn't hurt. Teams this good don't only have the ability to strike, but they have the ability to choose when, and you'd hope they ratchet it right up now to break for half. Krank will have a crack at holding, having their own chance to break for half. Denya, big mark on Fulford. Fulford goes to Tupper. Tupper can't see anything really materialising under before Ha gets nice, moving slightly towards the break side and got it. Ha wants Warren White. Then moves, gets inside, goes to McCabe. McCabe sticks one long. Fulford. Looked a bit awkward. I think he was worried a little bit about the line. Something like that. But and he probably was fair enough. The disc did land out of bounds eventually. Just looked a little awkward. And here we go. Pompey have the chance to break for half.
Tony walking up to that vertical stack, no dump. Reeve comes out, Perkins comes out. Denya finds Neild.
Let's gather.
Sorry, more. Denya
Here we go.
drives one deep to Perkins.
Here we go.
Keeps
They
her
break
own
for
in the
half.
whole way. That's the half for Pompey Magnus.
Good cut from Perkins. That's nice. Well done. Pompey break. That should be half, isn't it?
It's half, yep.
Someone better tell Krank. I don't think they've cupped on. Oh, no. Now they know.
Yep, so they'll have a quick break, try and figure out how to stop Pompey Magnus in their tracks and close that gap. And we'll take a break as well.
Yes, I'm going to go eat my weight in Tim Sims. Given it's the off-season, that's a lot of Tim Sims. All right, we'll be back for the second half after a short break.
Welcome back to the Krank versus Pompey Magnus top of the table clash at the Australian Ultimate Mixed Championships Div 1. We've seen Pompey take the lead at half, increasing their gap by just the 2 points. Teams have had a break, and we saw Pompey Magnus quite circular for the whole of that break, whereas the Wollongong team in red, Krank, were a bit more spread out, a bit more relaxed, getting their throws sorted. Moz has got his dim sims, and we're all set to go for the second half with Pompey Magnus starting out on D, and Krank receiving.
Huss, these dimmies are dead set. Some of the best dimmies I've had in my life.
I'm so pleased for you, Moroni. Nice to see Holly Reeve with the pull. Most teams go with the male puller, but it's good to see Reeve whipping out her quality backhand, sailing
Very nice.
past the brick.
Boothie moves to Warren White. Warren White hits full foot on the under. McCabe looks to get it from him, gets the under. Nice work. McCabe goes to Warren White. Warren White to Fulford. Really nice flow. Boothie comes inside. Mike Neal with a bid, couldn't get it. Boothie moves through to Warren White. Neal having a sniff. Boothie's allowing him to sit in the lane. And it's a big call. It was Holly Reeve calling it on Rosie. Said you still have a little bit. Booth looks for the inside, holds it. Warren White goes up the line, can't get it. Rosie, really nice cut to the middle of the field, but doesn't have a dump. Fulford gets it under pressure, goes to Rosie, who's up the line, moves it to Booth. Booth, Warren White. Warren White, big wide backhand to Ha, but it jumps out of the hand.
Just a bit behind her, that one.
Yep.
Moore, we've got confirmation that he's an actuary and a father. Swings it to Neild.
He's
Whole
going.
field width. Neild's driven it deep. He's got 3 players underneath, 6 players with D as well. But Krank come down with that.
Really nice work by Hayden. There were some big boys in that pack and girls. Booth, Rosie to Fulford. Fulford hits Boothie on the sideline. Booth looks. Oh, I sell some candy. Goodness me, Oscar Francis bought the shop. Looks Warren White. Warren White to Bengson. Puts it down. A lot of pressure, but an uncontested foul. I think Holly just clipped her. Uncontested foul, so it'll be Steph Bengson on the end zone line.
Thought Holly Reeve was going to make a diving bid there, but must have clipped it at the moment of decision.
Bengson walking back now. Discs in. Rosie round the corner, but Rosie picks it up.
Rosie Dawson fast enough to change direction 12 times in half a second and still get on the end of the disc.
It was a tricky one because the mark actually, like Rosie couldn't see past the mark and didn't realise that Bengson had moved around to the backhand until pretty much after she threw it. Alex Haar's been put on her backside, but she seems to be okay. Nice grab. Full stretch. Let's see if we can get some of the players for interview. Krank, they put up Fulford, Maguire and Alex Haar. And from Pompey, they're wheeling out Danny Alexander and Michael Henry Thomas. Let's see if we can get them. Nice to have a chat.
Both teams coming through the New South Wales Regional Championships to make it here. But Hills were the victor of that region, so they'll probably be looking to get some revenge later in the tournament. Pompey on offense now. Thomas finds Wee. Wee back up the line to Thomas. Sees a lovely move from Ewan.
That's as clean as you'll see. That's as clean as you'll see.
This team's really got some offensive space because they're being disciplined in their stacks.
Yeah. Obviously stacked it deep. It was some kind of ISO or feld operation. It was really disciplined. Spot on.
Yeah, it makes such a difference when players know that when it's their turn, it's their turn. You don't have to get the disc every time you think you should. That's not as nice as it might be. Your team's going to be much better off if you stick to the plan, which Pompey are doing really nicely here.
So they maintain a little bit of buffer, 7-9. Krank will have to put a couple of breaks in if they want to win this. But when Pompey play offense like that, you get your work cut out for you. Few teams in the not a dugout. What do you call it? What do you call that thing? Shed.
In the country.
Articulate, isn't it? Checking these teams out. Both are undefeated, as Huss said. Doing a little bit of scoping and intel. As we said, the winner of this most likely will have a break. Won't have to play a pre-semi. Whoever comes second will, as we watch Mike Neal's pull. Lands just inside the brick mark. Booth to pick up. Neal goes to Booth. McCabe looks to go deep. Boothie sits on it. Steph Bankson, nice cut, picks it up low. It's McCabe. McCabe gets Boothie. Boothie sees Warren White coming under, gets him. Warren White looks the backhand. Ooh, throws a nice little flippy floppy backhand to Booth, who pulls the trigger on one. That's going to McCabe, and he picks it up. Really nice throw. That was laces out. If you gave more charging it at you, you want to make sure the throw's good, and it was absolutely perfect.
Yep, needed to be, and it certainly was. Gav couldn't even put a fatherly bit out there.
That's Boothie's second or third throw, that flick, sitting out into the corner of the far corner of the end zone. It's an unreal throw. 4 males being called for, which is probably one of the first times I think we've seen it. It's been mostly 4 females. John and Warren White, flippy floppy backhand.
Actually, the format of this tournament is to go A, B, B, A. So, yeah, you've probably just not noticed, but we should be getting...
I'm still playing rules as if they're 2012.
Yeah, it's time to catch up.
I don't actually understand any of them.
So it's 4 women
So
for 2 points in a row, 4 men for 2 points in a row. So it's essentially even male-female split for the whole game.
Whatever makes it easier, Huss. Because
it is a bit easier as well.
When they were doing that thing with the end zone call, I had to do advanced trigonometry to work out. And anyone who knows me knows that's not my jam. Boothie's pulled a brick, I reckon.
Yeah, that's going out. And it is easier than the old system where, you know, decisions had to be made, and no one likes to make more decisions than they have to when you're having a nice, fun weekend of frisbee.
Here we go. Ballarat starting to turn it on now. Umbrella's getting blown over. Welcome to B-Town. There's a reason they call the tournament here the Big Wet.
Reeve isolated for Thomas and gets free.
Great. He's going. He's going. Oh, Booth!
Reeve going with the flick over the top, and Neal collects. Booth just missing out on a jumping block.
Like you said, Huss, when you've got offense this clean, Krank are going to have to, like Boothie tried, but you're going to have to pull something out of the top drawer. It's a good throw. I thought Neal would come back under, but stayed deep enough.
It was a good throw, but it was kind of pin perfect. If it had been anything different, it would have. She could have stuck it deeper, but anything closer would have been a turnover for sure.
Did Boothie get a finger on it?
I don't think so. Yeah, though, Krank do need to start mixing something up. throwing something wild out there to disrupt Pompey somewhat. They're looking very, very comfortable.
The rain is coming, Huss. It's gonna happen. I can feel it. Very interesting to see what impact it has on the game as well. Because, I mean, it might almost be a blessing in disguise for Krank because they need something to try and disrupt this this clean offense from Pompey. Daniel pulls a relatively uninspiring pull. Tupper on the sideline looks to get it off quickly, goes to Fulford. It looks like some kind of junk that Pompey are playing. Fulford pivots into Denya, gets the throw off. Tupper now in the corner. Looks like they've trained some kind of junky. Really nice work from Fulford to milk it, keep it in, and then they hit Har in the middle. Har goes to McCabe. McCabe holds it. Lovely break backhand around to Boothie. And it looks like they've collapsed into matched offense. Alex Har had them lining up. Bengtson was right in front. McCabe was out the back doing the Usain Bolt style, both hands outstretched. I am free. So I know you're free, mate, but Steph Bengtson's right there, right in front of me. 2 metre pass, goal. They keep in touch, 8-10.
That was nice.
Was nice. A couple of moments there where there was a count starting to get high on the sideline, but both Fulford and Tupper showed a good amount of composure. Lovely little throw.
Takes it to 9-10.
9-10.
Yep. Back within one.
Have you sampled anything from the canteen yet?
No, but I did.
The dimmies. I can recommend.
Okay, as a vegetarian, probably won't be choosing that
Yeah,
option, but
maybe not then.
I did have a nice cup of coffee from the coffee van. A very charming man delivering those coffees.
Good cash in coffee vans, I reckon. Be a good operation. Maybe we'll ask Gab the actuary, ask for his financial acumen, see what he thinks.
Right, let's see which team is more up for the rest, which team wants to get value for money out of this tournament. Pull makes its way upfield from the brick, helping Pompey out. Henry picks up. Thomas to Reeve. Working against the zone. The wind picking up, both teams are going for the zone option now. Wee picks a high one and goes for a scuba over the top into a bit of trouble, but the height of Nield comes down with it. Wee again getting it every other pass now. Finds Reeve in the middle. Is something wild going to come out of Krank as they're sliced through by Reeve and popping it easily to Nield. 11-9.
I think Mike Neal actually signed that frisbee as after he caught it and gave it to Ruben Berg. So here, mate, little souvenir. Pretty happy. But that offense, like, lost my Coke. I haven't been saying it, but it's just looking so smooth. No high counts, very few contested throws. That out in front, no one near him.
And Pompey have pretty high throwing skill across the board. They're going to need some bigger pressure or some. I think Krank need to take away the options downfield because they're not having an effect on the throws here.
No, they're trying. Like they ran a transition at one point. They ran return. I could hear them going home and away. So they're either going a forced middle or a forced return. So they're going to the well. They're just not coming back with anything. Try and get a score from the other field as well, where WA are playing Vanguard, and Kyle O has just thrown a Callahan. Well done, Kyle. It's probably not the time you wanted us to look over, but back on this game, Boothie throws the backhand, lovely stuff to Rosie. Rosie hits Warren White. Fulford gets inside, and Boothie's gone. Fulford's going to stick, it does. Sits it up under Boothie. Henry Thomas had a bid, but Boothie did well. That one was always going to go.
Wow, I thought that Thomas had made it up there, but
He almost did, yeah.
sailed past his hand.
You see Boothie, probably at the best part of 10 metres when the throw was released, but as you said, it gave Thomas a sniff. Boothie did well to keep his focus and composure. It was one of those throws. It was one of those ones where you see someone that free and you just get excited. You go, giddy up, yeehaw. And
but at the
probably
last
came
second,
out a bit loose,
I think at the last second he tried to pull off because he didn't want to stick it out the back. He realised how close the end zone was, and
yeah, and there is the breeze. If you had to call it anything, it would be right to left at the moment. So
Yeah.
you're spot on. The wind would have took that, taken that.
came out a little bit odd, but did the job.
Let's talk about Kylo throwing a Callahan a bit more. That was pretty good.
I didn't even see it.
Not sure what that score is with Sublime versus Vanguard. Crank to pull. Is it a brick? I think it was. No, it landed in. Oh, they're taking sideline. Oofed.
Gives Fiddler a lot of space to throw across.
Is that Sasha Vidler?
Certainly is. Reeve coming from the front, unmarked. Fiddler eventually decides to throw to her. She throws a big inside break, but...
Here we go. Here's Crank's chance. Bengtson picked it up from Booth. It's James Nichols. Back to Bengtson. Bengtson looks over. Mike nailed. Unreal bid. Gets busy, gets it done.
What a block.
He's a star. He's an absolute star.
That was a Puma-esque leap.
Yeah. He's been playing in second gear all game. Decides to actually, pull his head in and have an impact, and that's what he does. Lay out block on an under.
Reeve lays it off to Vidler. Scuba back to Reeve. He's controlling the offense here. Goes around, but a bit low for Wee.
Booth again. Second time. Oh, holds it. Second time Booth has looked to go to a quick start. Count getting high. Count getting real high. Goes with the break backhand, but it's over the head. I think it was of Nichols. And Pompey again, now through Neil.
Neil taking his time to make a decision. He could just move it to Wentworth, and he eventually does. They've definitely slowed down their offense a little bit. Neil up the line from Wentworth, and finds Wee also up the line. It's an up the line job. Takes them to 12.
So Mike, after that point, went and pointed to the stack and got around him, and it's exactly around your point that you made earlier around the discipline that the stack has, or this team is having, in knowing when not to cut. Saw this cut go off the line here. There. That space got opened up. I think it was Danny Alexander. Went to make that cut from the back of the stack, saw what Mark Wee was doing, pulled out, went around to the far break side, which opened up that space under.
And I can't help think, but some of the other Crank defenders could probably just get in and make a bit more trouble on the open side. I mean, Pompey Magnus can then choose to throw over the top, as they have done all game, but I feel like they need to start messing things up a little bit. So it's the score cap is 15, so if this game keeps marching on, then there'll be a race to 15. Pompey only 3 away from that as they come down on D.
Warren White picks up. It's Tapa as Pompey throw a junk. Tapa gets the foot. It's going to sit up enough for full foot who runs on. No poppers at all. Tupper leaves Fulford. Moves it over to Warren White, but it just caught the lip and gave a little bit more heat to the throw. Chance for Pompey Magnus to put a dagger in.
Denya having a look, just wants to get the goal straight away. Goes inside to Francis.
There it is.
It's the goal for Andrews.
Pompey's offense have really benefited over probably the last 4 or 5 points. Holly Reeve moving back into that handler position, really making life easy for her cutters, resetting on the dumps, moving into good positions, striking up the line. Didn't notice her as much in the first half, but certainly the last 4 or 5 points, she's been a really good asset to that Pompey offense. You're right, Daniel was hungry, wasn't he? Probably got to a 6 or a 7 count before he'd even looked at it. Anything that could be considered a dump.
Can't help get the feeling that Krank are not going to be able to pull this one back.
Is it 13-10 now?
It is.
Yeah. Would need something special. Sun's starting to poke through now, which is nice. As Pompey, nice pull into the end zone, bobbles out of Tupper's grasp. She recovers, moves it to Booth. Booth goes to Fulford. Once again, Pompey with the junk. Fulford gets a throw and go, almost taken by Alexander, but held her ground. And moves it back to McCabe. McCabe has 3 handlers back, goes the push pass. Tupper, back to McCabe. Krank not moving it to the middle until now. They do. Fulford moves to Boothie. Wind's starting to kick up a little bit now. Fulford gets the inside pop. So the only popping that's happening is coming from the handlers. Tupper, McCabe. McCabe throws through. Really nice throw to Ha. Ha at a brick mark now. McCabe pulls a couple in the fence, which opens up the easy dump to Fulford, who hits Boothie. Boothie, McCabe, Boothie. Boothie, little pro step. Checks the double teams, fakes the hammer. Draws a little bit of contact from Gav. Gets it back from Fulford. He fakes the hammer, wants the hammer, sells some more candy. McCabe. Lovely inside flick that rips the defense apart. Now they can make some moves. They do. Fulford. More candy being thrown. Back to McCabe. Well done. Oscar Francis is hungry. He had a couple of bites. Boothie's got him a couple of times now. Well done from Krank. They hold.
Yeah, lovely. A lot of throws from Krank there. They were happy to do that. Fulford instrumental in getting that disc moving safely all the way up the field.
That inside flick from, I think it was McCabe, that was unreal. That's the candy. Really nice from Fulford, because that fake moved, was it Francis? Oscar Francis. He had to bid, which meant the gap it opened up the gap, and he threw straight through it, which ended up with the goal. If you're picking that up through the mics, there is some wind starting to pick up. It is going from right to left. So Krank will be pulling with the wind. (13-11).
Team in white are ready. Booth with the pull.
Safe pull.
Caught by Thomas. Denya. Finds Reeve.
He's going.
Far sideline. Doesn't get the option she wants deep. Pulls out. Carmen under. Kneeled. There's cuts coming all over the place. They're doing well to choose the safest ones. Perkins. Oh,
Nice.
manages to collect up a tapped D. Kept her eye firmly on the target, and Thomas now just decides not to stick that one to the front end zone with the defender closely on the neck. Denya back to Thomas. There's a pickup field.
Well done from Steph Bengtson to peel off the back of the stack when they were running their primary play. Holly had Mike very much streaming deep. Bengtson picked it up, and to the point, your point earlier, around a bit more downfield pressure. Put a body in the way, made Holly think twice. False start.
Yeah, and a lesser team would have made that throw. It's just another example of Magnus making good decisions.
Yeah. Booty and Neeld looks isolated.
Thomas goes for that one. Immediate goal after that discussion. And that's taken Pompey Magnus within one of the game. They're thinking about their restful afternoon.
Booty getting caught on the open side there.
And Rubenberg, game advisor, demonstrating his Usain Bolt skills with the game point signal.
Point?
Dib-a-dab.
You're going to find out if Wollongong's got any more fight left. This will be their last offensive point. If they put that in, the game will be 1 on D for them.
I think the word crank in German, probably pronounced differently, means sick.
There you go.
Let's hope that they don't feel too sick at the end of this game.
That's the first pull we've seen go out the back.
It is.
Rolled out, so it'll be front of the end zone line, not a brick.
Maybe Magnus want this game to last a bit longer.
Horror look. Fulford McCabe in the middle. Booth with the disc. Fulford's going. Comes under. Now goes deep. Booth throws the fake. Hits Tupper. Tupper inside break. Unreal inside break to Alex Hart. Alex moves into the middle. Hits McCabe. Looks pretty. And Bengson's going. Just Fulford. It'll be Fulford underneath. Whoa, and Danny Alexander puts him on his backside. Fulford loves it. Good hit. Nothing malicious.
It did well to collect that. I think we got his fingers on that disc.
So Fulford has Natalie Bell 1 out, and he's going to burn a timeout.
He thought, oh, that was a nice little lie down. Fancy another.
Interesting to see what Magnus do here. I wouldn't be surprised if they threw a junk. Put a little bit more pressure on the handlers, on Krank's handlers. Do we know why it's called Krank? Or why they're called Krank?
We don't. Maybe because they think they have sick plays, sick skills. Maybe it just sounds cool.
What about Pompey Magnus? Any information about what they're called? Pompey Magnus.
Well, it's the name of a politician, a Roman military commander.
Pompey is?
Pompey Magnus.
Bringing a bit of culture to this, setup, Huss. I like it.
I mean, it's not been a particularly political game, though.
Mike Neeld on the sideline making children cry. young children and babies on the sideline, some fur babies on the sideline. It's a family affair.
Krank have gone for the stack, which is so spread that it's going out the back of the end zone. 3 out, 4 in.
So I don't think it's matched, but it is quite poachy. You can see Wentworth and and Andrews both going to Bell. Bell makes the cut. Fulford throws wide to Alex Hart. Danny Alexander was in the vicinity, but not close enough to bid. Brings it to 12-14. As we said, it's going to be Krank on D for the remainder of the game. Pompey just one away from earning the break, finishing top of the table, top of their pool.
It was a good decision there from...
It's nice, wasn't it?
Yeah. Call that timeout. There's been a bit of discussion about, the percentage chance of scoring after calling a timeout on the edge of the end zone, but Krank seem to have their...
They've been alright, haven't they?
Yeah, they're set up together.
2 from 2. Mark Fulford very excited to see Hussey.
Yeah, all the way from days in England when Mark Fulford used to play for the Hull Inbreds. The mighty Hull Inbreds. He claims they were the best inbred mixed team there ever was. It's probably true.
There's a story there. Like, I'm sure you've got quite a few stories.
Are you going to win this game, Fulford?
Yeah, I'm feeling they're probably going to choke now.
Okay, so
Choke has
Fulford's
been
calling a
called.
choke.
I like it.
Choke on.
The drop ball will help us here.
Here we go. Dennis
including a
sitting
drop
under
ball.
it.
Oh,
Nope,
no.
not this point.
Henry goes for the big one straight away. Reeve going deep. She's got the speedster underneath, but
Oh, yeah.
it's defended by
It's Eunice.
Eunice.
What's happened to call? Foul called.
Foul called after the block
Yeah.
by Eunice Ng.
Nice block. Great block. Booth has it. Booth hits PV. PV back to Booth. Booth looks to send one. Doesn't. Holsters it. Moves it down. Jaden Ferguson can't find Maguire.
Now's not the time to be casual.
No.
Thomas, is he going to stick it again? No, he goes to Francis. Low flick up the line. Another one on the opportunities there. Thomas collects the rising disc up the line and takes the game for Pompey Magnus. They've earned their rest. That was a smooth performance from them.
Oh, good, weren't they? They'll be at the pointy end, no doubt.
Yep, contenders right there.
Krank Brave probably went the way most. You probably at the start of the game, I just said 12-16. It would have sounded about right. Krank finishing second in their regional tournament.
But Magnus finishing fourth, so they've flipped it around. Maybe a slight change in personnel. But yeah, Krank. Both teams have to finish their pool before it's decided who goes straight through to semis. But I can't see Pompey Magnus losing the last game of their pool, no matter who it is.
Not with offense like that.
Yeah, we'll see you back again for the next game in a few minutes.
Do we know who that next game is?
It's Hive versus Sublime.
All right, thanks, Huss. That was good. Good fun. We'll catch you back in 15 minutes.
About that.
Yep. All right. Have a good one.